Well, Iran's president has just been confirmed dead via a helicopter crash that happened with him and multiple other leading officials there in Iran. And all of this is leading to a lot of speculation. Who might be behind it? Was it really due to inclement weather and the fog that was there? Does that Israel or America or any of leading officials there in Iran have anything to do with what happened? Because the sad truth is, very bad and unfortunate as it is, helicopter crashes seem to be a way to get rid of some of your political opposition, or there is a history of that, shall I say, in America's past and many past of many other countries. So could there be more to the story? And I'm here to tell you that I absolutely believe there might be. But of course, one has to consider the extreme weather that was surrounding all of that. But let's start first with the basics here, and I'm going to go on over to USA Today. And this is just the latest update. No sign of life at crash site of helicopter carrying Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, state media says. And it goes on to state this. It says there is no sign of life that was detected at the crash site of the helicopter carrying Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and his foreign minister, according to Iranian state media. Rescue teams had located the incident site on Monday after Raisi and other top officials crashed into a mountainous area of northwest Iran the day before. The officials had been missing for over 12 hours, and search operations were hindered by blizzards and difficult terrain through the night. It goes on that no survivors were found. Iranian state news agency IRINN and semi-official news agency Mir News reported that President Raisi's helicopter was completely burned in the crash. Unfortunately, all the passengers are feared dead, an official told Reuters. Now, here is a rather creepy video, but this is a video that was published, or the last video of the Iranian dictator before this entire event happened, and you can see him there. But we also have this footage here as well. These are reportedly the 4 Iranians who were in the helicopter, according to the reports. You can see the president of Iran, the minister of foreign affairs there, Abdalian, Hussein Amir Abdalian. Then we have the governor of Eastern Azerbaijan province, and then the imam of the province of Tabriz, and I might be butchering that, but there's kind of a nutshell of what's going on. Now, there's lots of questions and speculations regarding what happened, what's the truth, and what's not the truth. Well, before I dive into that, just a quick break from my sponsor. Well, have you heard of the CERT food diet? Well, this diet is not a restrictive diet at all. In fact, it's all about the specific foods that you should be eating. Well, you may know some big names who have actually followed this diet. One of those being mixed martial artist Conor McGregor, or even world champion boxer David Haye, who credits this amazing drink to his shape. Now, the 2 international best-selling authors who created this diet, Glenn Matten and Aidan Gawkins, well, they have a new, even more incredible way to get these potent CERT foods to all Americans by combining them all into one revolutionary, powerful drink, so you can get all the benefits of the diet just by drinking this right here that I have in my glass. Now, this is called the Ultimate CERT Juice. It was designed to help you lose weight, help support your overall health, and even give you energy. And by the way, it tastes absolutely amazing. Now, if you want to check it out, all you have to do is go to GetCert, that's GetSIRT.com/Haven, and take advantage of a special offer. Right now, you're getting $20 off this amazing product. And if you want more information on this amazing product, you can also click the link in the description box below, or click that more button if you're on your cell phone. And by the way, click disclaimer, these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. The product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent diseases. Individual results can vary. All right, back to the broadcast. So let's dive into, well, how bad was the weather? Because this could absolutely be what happened. It could just be the weather, right? Let me show you some of the footage that has been leaking out regarding, and this is the footage of the weather. You can see that you can barely see. This is some of the rescue teams that are out there, or that were out there looking at the crash site, but you can see it's very foggy, very inclement weather there. Here's some images of the plane crash there that crashed into some mountainous rock there. And here's the actual footage. You can see kind of a far off distance. They zoom in, and this is more of a drone footage of it, but you can see the wreckage there and the plane down at the bottom. That's some of the footage that is leaked out as well. And then we also have, this is just more inclement weather. You can just see it's very, very foggy. And then of course here, I mean, it was so bad that you could barely see in front of your face. So I would suggest that weather could absolutely be a part of it. Could it just been that? Well, I'm not sure. Ultimately, I'm going to let you form your own opinion on that, because that's what I like to do. And I'm going to give you my idea at the end of this of what I think actually happened, or what it could be. By the way, I'm also hearing reports that this was an older plane, which also sparks some concerns and questions. As far as I'm concerned, why put him in a plane that's not as stable as, say, another plane? He is, after all, the president of Iran. And by the way, we'll also get this little tidbit, but Raisi is the second only to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, and rumors abound, obviously, that Raisi was long considered a strong candidate to succeed Khamenei, right? He's in line to succeed that, which also pulls in a lot of question as to, well, is he the only one that was considered, to potentially be a strong candidate, or were there others? And I have to tell you, there is at least one more strong candidate. So that's another fact to consider as well. But definitely the weather does play a part. But again, why did they drive into the weather knowing dang well that it was not? These are good questions. Not only that, but immediately following reports of the crash, or the reports of a hard landing is what they called it at first, we have military buildup, a significant deployment of Iranian security and military personnel was noted across Tehran. And of course, members of their Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps was also taking up positions around government buildings, I guess as precautions or whatnot. But there you can see some of the military buildup. These are the other facts that we have regarding the case. Then we also know, this is a report published by dailymail.co.uk. We also know that they were not traveling alone, that there was a convoy of them. The helicopter was one of a convoy of three there. So they had theirs, and then they had two others that were also in and around. And the question that I have regarding this convoy, the other two helicopters should have known exactly where the third one went down, so to speak. So why don't we have more information on at least those other two? And there wasn't a lot of talk and chatter on that convoy, but what I do know is the convoy obviously did happen. And then we also have this to think about, right? This is Iranian International English. It says helicopters used for high-ranking officials can send out their exact location in the case of a crash, unless an explosion has disabled all onboard systems, including the emergency system. Iranian Defense and Security Analysis told the Iranian news there. It's possible that a bomb exploded inside, or due to pilot error and insufficient visibility, the helicopter might have collided with a rock, which I kind of believe the story. That's the story they're telling us now. It collided with a rock or a hill, resulting in sudden destruction, in which case that would disable their onboard emergency systems, which is why it could have made it hard for them to find originally. So the story now is that it collided with some kind of rock and then went down, and unfortunately all parties are dead. But here's another kicker to think about. Well, now that has happened, analysts are warning of complete turmoil there in the Middle East, especially because, again, he is rumored to be the successor to Ayatollah Khamenei there, right? But here it is. Iranian president helicopter crash. Analysts warn of turmoil there in the Middle East. Foreign affairs analysts weighed in on the uncertainty of Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi's helicopter crash, with one warning on Sunday that a potential loss of life would throw Iran's leadership into turmoil. Joel Rubin, a former deputy assistant secretary of state for House Affairs during the Obama administration, told Newsweek via a text message on Sunday the possibility that President Raisi and his entourage may have been killed in a helicopter accident will have major ramifications both inside Iran and abroad. And again, that's because Raisi had been handpicked by the supreme leader, the one who's ultimately in charge of Iran, not only as his president, but also as his likely heir. The loss of Raisi would throw Iran's leadership into turmoil just as it moves internally and abroad and are only growing more aggressive. We need to watch the development closely. And as you know, he has been confirmed to be killed in the accident. And he says, well, the days ahead are going to be extremely uncertain there in Tehran. So that's something to think about. But there's lots of speculation and there's lots of things that it could be. And there's this article on Time that I think has some good questions regarding that. Iran's President Raisi dies, the list of potential suspects. So now they want to hone in, well, was it just weather or was it something else? Was there something more involved? And that's the question that I ultimately, want the answer to. And I think most of the world does. But it says the cause of the crash, which also killed Iranian Foreign Minister Hussein Abdalian, the government of Iran's eastern Azerbaijan province, and others, is pending investigation. So it's still under investigation, but any official finding will be open to interpretation, like the fireworks that erupted in the streets over Tehran on Sunday night. Were they celebrating the eve of the holiday, making the birth of Reza, known as the eighth Imam, or the death of Raisi, the notorious hardline president? Good question. Well, suspicions abound, they say. The crash came 2 months after Iran launched a massive missile and drone attack on Israel, retaliating for an Israeli airstrike that killed 2 senior Iranian generals in Syria on April 1st. Israel's initial response to the unprecedented direct attack on its territory was so muted as to qualify as symbolic, targeting an anti-aircraft battery guarding a nuclear facility. Now, basically, they're saying, well, Israel could be, one of the potential reasons that this happened. Maybe they were behind the cause. Israel, however, has come out and said that they deny any involvement in the helicopter crash. So Israel's saying, we didn't do anything. We had nothing to do with it. Our hands are clean. That's what Israel's saying. But these are, of course, suspicions that are out. Then we also have this. For those disposed to believe the crash was Tel Aviv dropping the other shoe, the site of the incident encourages speculation. Raisi's helicopter went down in the mountainous forest near the border of Azerbaijan, which is the least friendly of Iranian's neighbors, in part because it maintains relations with Israel and has a history of cooperating with Mossad. So what they're saying there is this could have been some kind of internal dispute or somebody upset, ergo why they dropped even in the area that they did, an area that's apparently in part maintains a relationship with Israel. Then there's, of course, the weather. But the weather is also suspect. Iranian state-reported efforts to locate the crash site were impeded by fog, wind, and heavy rains, and released footage of rescue crews rushing through the enveloping mist. And again, the weather was very inclement. It was very bad weather. Absolutely. Planes go down all the time when they attempt to go through these inclement style weathers. That is what happened and could potentially be suspect in this case. But then there's also one more. And I'm going to say I might even lean on this or the weather. I honestly don't think Israel's behind it. I think that it could be the weather, which is what they're saying so far. They're still doing investigation, or it could be something like this. Finally, there's the internal politics of the Islamic Republic, notoriously brutal in the best of times, but even more so given persistent rumors that Khamenei, who has ruled for 35 years, is ailing, right? Raisi's death would create a succession crisis in Iran. Kamir, a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for Internal Peace, told Time on Sunday as the anchors on the state television donned black. He and Khamenei, the son of 85-year-old supreme leader, are the only talked about candidates for succession. So there's 2 candidates. In Iran's conspiratorial political culture, few will believe Raisi's death was accidental. And I have to agree with that last statement. And I might be butchering that, and I'm sorry, but Mojtaba Khamenei was the son, or is the son, of 85-year-old supreme leader who is not doing so well health-wise, right? He's ailing, he's growing age, like most of us do at 85, and his son is in line, potentially as a candidate for succession, along with one other guy, and that is, well, the Iranian president. So now the only successor turns out to be the son of Ayatollah Khomeini. Interesting, right? So one could ask, is there a political motivation? Yes. Is there a reason that somebody would want the Iranian president out? Well, there's lots of reasons for that. He was also known as the Butcher, but and not good. I do not like the Iranian president, but I'm here to tell you the story, the news of what happened, and give you my opinion on it. But what we do know is that the Iranian president and the son of the 85 Supreme Leader were the only two candidates. But now there's just one. Could there have been some kind of foul play? Well, I'm going to lean on that or whether. Those are my opinions. Again, they're still waiting on more facts to come out. But I'd love to get your thoughts, comments, and concerns on what you think about that. Anyhow, I love you all. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.